Hello. So I wanted to review what some of the differences were between the cutscenes because they seem really subtle. I've been kind of disappointed so far because I thought that like not taking the pills would really like change the trajectory of the story. Not like content wise, like level wise, but I thought the cutscenes would like really reveal like, oh, that's what was happening the whole time. Like a layer of reveal would happen. But the primary difference seems to be just that there's little bits of dialogue that I've picked up on that are directly referencing marriage. And going back to this, I've been able to pick up on like, okay, yeah, I was right. The original version of the cutscene did not mention marriage, and the new version of the cutscene does mention marriage. There are little details like this. Like this was a completely different argument between the two versions of the scene. This video is kind of impossible to listen to because it's both audio tracks playing at once. But this was kind of interesting. Is that right there for a second, you see that the mom shows up to try to stop her from leaving and doesn't do that in New Game Plus. So that was a distinct difference, even though Hinako actually animates the exact same way. Which I don't know what the implication of that is. She looks back and says something in the original cutscene. In the New Game Plus, she looks back, doesn't say anything. There's no one there, but the animation's the same. And I don't totally know what we're supposed to be thinking about this. Like, why is the story playing out differently in these two versions? Is it a different timeline? Is she looping? Is one of them the more authentic truth than the other one? I'm really not sure what we're supposed to think about this stuff, but it is interesting to see these differences playing out a bit. There's also ones that hint at future events a bit more. Like we saw how there was that one sequence a second ago where it showed the ritual that we haven't done yet, and kind of here there's also the thing where these two cities look different. I'm not totally sure what that means either, but this one's more rot focused and this one's more fog focused essentially as far as what's overtaking things. And the New Game Plus version, he runs in and comes to her aid, which kind of sets up that we're gonna wake up in his lap later. That slight difference is kind of interesting. I do not know what to make of that, and also like why they're different colors. Like this ending is like one of the main things I noticed is that throughout the original versions of cutscenes, there's various cases where things kind of disintegrate and disappear. Like here, there's a fog and everything, and then yeah, there's this like thing where things are disintegrating as if they're not really there. And this one, everything just stays, but the fog slowly comes in and like hides it all. So the result is roughly the same, but like nothing physically disappears, and things repeatedly disappear in the other versions of these cutscenes. And I'm just not super sure what to make of that. I was right that the doll wasn't visible in the original cutscene, but in the original cutscene, the doors are disintegrating, and this is the other world, so that's interesting. Both worlds have bits where things are disintegrating in this particular setting, and I'm not totally sure what to make of some of that stuff. And then it's very blink and you miss it, but when we get pushed down the stairs, there's like rot on the stairs in the new version of the cutscene, and there wasn't in the previous version of the cutscene. Really, really tiny changes though. Like this one I don't even fully know what it is. This one, what the boss fight I just did, it says that honestly this video is a little weirdly edited, and then it shows the whole cutscene and a lot of stuff that's not relevant to what changed, and that's kind of frustrating. But somewhere in here, there's apparently, oh, there it is. So there's a tree in the original cutscene, and there's not a tree in the second cutscene. And like, I don't know what that means. Huh. There's some kind of symbolism going on here and there, but yeah, it's been relatively minor changes so far. I don't know what comes later, because I'm not going to watch ahead in the video. But yeah, it's been a weird ride. Definitely my imagination's doing a fair amount of the lifting, where I'm just like, or just like my reinterpretation. Like it is interesting. Like they did successfully write a story that's interesting to replay just to see the cutscenes again, because they kind of have different meanings. And I think that in many cases they might even be implying change. Like that changes are, it feels like there are changes sometimes when it just is my changing understanding and not that there was an actual change in the cutscene. But I'm not always sure. This video also doesn't show things outside of cutscenes, so like who knows what other changes have happened. Like obviously the radios seem to be new, and the bit where seemingly he is at the shrine and doing some kind of ritual and so on. You can see him during gameplay when you visit your friend's shrine. You can see what looks like him in silhouette, and that's not covered in this video, but there definitely are gameplay changes here and there that poke at things too. I definitely was hoping for more significant differences. I was hoping it was going to be a bit more like Nier Automata, where the subsequent playthrough really pulls back the curtain on something, and now all the scenes are being reinterpreted. Instead, it's mostly leaving us to reinterpret things as opposed to the game actively reinterpreting things. But I'm already committed, so I'm just gonna see where it goes overall. I also had the idea where I was like, oh wait, the only difference between getting one ending and the other ending is that if I purify or don't purify the sword, right? Can't I just make a save before I purify the sword and keep that one? That way I can replay the ending to get the other ending really quickly instead of replaying the whole game, and then I can get both sword endings that way. And then my third playthrough would be the true ending or the final ending or whatever. That would speed things up a lot. I might even be able to get the UFO ending. I should probably research that. I wasn't planning on getting multiple endings in one playthrough, but it might be possible to get all three of. It might be possible to get through the whole game in 3 playthroughs. The first playthrough, the 3 endings playthrough, and then the true ending playthrough. Because that last ending does require you to have already gotten the other endings in order to get it. So that one's just going to have to happen. I don't know if more changes happen after your second playthrough. So I might skip the vast majority of the true ending playthrough and just show you guys the branching at the end or something, because I imagine it's mostly just playing the same game for a third time, and that's just kind of excessive overkill at some point. I don't think I'm gonna have that many more reinterpretations to talk about. But anyway, I wanted to take a step to like actually highlight what the hell's going on here, because I'm going in blind and I don't know what the changes are, and I can't tell even when I see the changes if they're changes. And turns out they're really subtle, actually. There's dialogue changes in some cutscenes, but there's also cutscenes where everything plays out exactly the same, but just a visual is different, which is definitely less than I was hoping. I'm a little disappointed there, but let's keep going. Okay, back to the mess. Also, I already failed the UFO ending, apparently. Whoops. It's really obscure. So you have to witness certain broadcasts, but there's also 3 posters, and you have to find them in the correct order. But because this game is so linear, I've already lost access to the first poster. I think the 2 posters I saw in this chapter are in this chapter, but I was supposed to also find another poster back in, I guess this is called chapter 5, and I'm supposed to find one back in chapter 3, and I guess I didn't. It's actually specifically in a place I went to, and I just didn't see the poster and didn't click on it. And then you fail the UFO ending. Womp womp. But if I'm gonna do a true ending playthrough, then I guess I'll just do it then. My other idea will probably work though.
You're lying, aren't you, Shu?
Beats me.
You really think you can fool Hinako?
Hinako! You're late. Was worried about you.
He wasn't worried at all. He knew his dear partner would be all right. Oh, yeah? Thanks.
I hate her so much. She's just so awful. It's such a situation of like, can't you set this shit aside? We're in the middle of something. But obviously it's it's a story, so you need to bring the drama out. But it does have the effect of making whoever's bringing the drama out even more unreasonable sounding in settings like this. Where you're like, bro, don't you see what's going on right now? The moment the horrific missing face tongue monsters start popping out, I'm like, you know what, I don't really care about anyone's relationship drama right now. I think we're mostly should be invested in not dying. Hot take. But then, of course, Silent Hill is specifically a series about people's bullshit that they're dealing with. And why that informs what's potentially going on. I think what really gets me is the fact that she is experiencing what we're experiencing, as far as I can tell. Whereas it'd almost be like, it'd be more ethereal and strange if she was isolated from this stuff. Like she just was never acknowledging the shit we're going through, and just kind of seemingly not existing in it. That's one of the weird things about this game to some extent, is that there's often it's not really explained, but I often feel like there's this sense in each Silent Hill game that the other NPCs you're encountering, like obviously we know the knife girl has a different hell in Silent Hill 2, but in other games it's often not remarked upon, but it feels implied to me that the various characters are kind of just not experiencing what you're experiencing, maybe even experiencing nothing. Like, there's vaguely some kind of disturbance. There might be like a cop or someone that's like chasing you and trying to track you down, and like, to various extents it feels like they're just kind of like not actually experiencing things, and so you just seem like, in some of these games you seem crazy because you're dealing with all this stuff and no one else seems to really ever acknowledge it in the same way. And in this game, Rinko just clearly does know about the monsters, and everyone ran from the monster in a shared experience at the beginning, which does set this game apart, the way that everyone runs from the fog monster at the beginning of the game. But it does mean that she obviously knows what's going on, and it makes her all the more bullshit for bringing up drama constantly and caring about this other stuff when, oh my god, that one's hard to look at. Research Journal, Photo 3. A photo attached to a research journal. It appears to be a clue collected by a researcher investigating the folklore of Ebisugaoka. Regarding the legend of the sacred sword. There were a number of damaged Jizo statues in the hollows of the divine tree. I saw old and broken tools laid in front of the statues, most likely so they could be put to rest. The sacred sword came far before the Inari faith. As such, Jizo statues are more likely than Inari statues to be used as anchors for sealing the sword. It seems like I'll need to look into beliefs that are older than the Inari faith to find the sacred sword. So the sacred sword predates the fox stuff. A different faith. Where the fuck is that? Based on how the gameplay's been working so far, I presumably need to find this before the middle school. But also, what do I offer to it? Huh. I guess I'll just scour whatever I can on the way in. Because the gameplay seems pretty consistent, is that we're on these, like, excursions between the main plot locations where cutscenes and or, like, dungeons happen. Essentially the parts where you'd be running around in the fog in Silent Hill 1 and 2, where you're just running down the road for a long time and not a lot of gameplay is necessarily happening. Those are such open environments that you can just dodge every enemy and just run to your next story location. But I would try to run up and down the wall. Ah! Wow, I was dead already. For how busted it is, this is a way higher durability. Look at that.
Not good. This won't last much longer.
She's saying it's low durability now. It looked like that before this fight started, when it was at like about half or more than half or something. It looks really damaged surprisingly early in the durability bar. But yeah, there's a formula to Silent Hill where you in the early games, you run around in the big foggy town, and then you get into like Alchemilla Hospital or something, and you explore that hospital, and you're really in like a dungeon full of like, ow! You're really in a dungeon full of like little passages everywhere, trying to figure out what to do. And then you go back, when you beat a boss, well, you're in the first version of that place, then it turns into the Rust version of that place. Then you beat the boss in the Rust version of that place, after re-exploring the place. Then you get kicked back outside and have to run down the foggy streets again for a while being chased by dogs and things until you get to the next town. So the segments that are the equivalent of that, when you're running around in the fog trying to figure out where to go next and stuff like that, that seems to be where each of the secrets happen, basically. Is that we get a clue to pursue during each of those chunks. I'll just sell the kudzu, because I think that'll give me enough to get the last slot. Increase Awamori slots. That's it, that's the maximum one. I don't know if I've done 3 of these already, and then the 4th one, or that's the 3rd one, huh? Because you start off with 1. I think I'm up to 3 now, so I'll now be up to 4. So it was 3 upgrades. So maybe I'm 2 upgrades deep on these ones? I don't know. I don't even know if they have to be, they don't necessarily have to be equivalent anyway. Let's put a 4th Omamori on. Huh, that's clearly a 5th slot worth of space, but I can't upgrade that anymore. What's up with that? Decrease sanity consumption while using focus, decrease focus charging time, decrease enemy line of sight. I feel like that's not really applying all that much right now anymore. Greatly increases stamina recovery speed and greatly shortens out of breath duration. That seems helpful for a lot of reasons. Light attacks consume less durability. Weapons with high durability do more damage. Perfect dodges are easier. Might go back to that one. Health restriction on every defeated enemy is kind of insane for let's find out how strong that is, I guess. That could be interesting. That could definitely be somewhat interesting. I wish my New Game Plus save was at the bottom of my save list, or if I could move it or something, because I don't like that it's like right in the middle of the stuff that I'm gonna be cycling through the saves on, basically. Especially on easy difficulty, getting health for every kill I get seems a little ridiculous. I'm looking for a Jizu statue, but I'm also looking for whatever you're even supposed to offer to it. We're going to try to be very thorough here, because I don't think I even have an offering yet. Oh my god. Another one? I just spent the other one, damn. Well, I have incentive to use this current thing that reduces how much healing I'll need by healing me during fights, because I would like to offer more stuff to get more to spend the new skill point I just got. I wonder if the radio stopped saying things because I missed some of them, or something. Or because I missed the poster. Or if that's more of a one-off. That's from the Obon Festival. Isn't it a bit early for these?
Cut it out. I don't want to talk about that right now.
I'm not gonna cut it out. I'm gonna keep bringing it up until you snap back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
I said, knock it off. Seriously.
Look, I'll just come right out and say it. Hinako's dead, okay? She's gone. She's living a better life in another world.
Oh. Partner, what took you so long? Come on, let's get going.
Still not totally sure what to make of that. I kept thinking that we were going to find out that maybe Hinako's actually dead. It was fun to reinterpret the story in that context and think like maybe she's genuinely gone. And like sort of somebody that he's conjuring. Like a, what's it called? A tulpa? Somebody said that, oh, Keith doesn't know about the Japanese bullying where people pretend that a classmate is dead or something. Which does sound like a form of bullying, but that doesn't actually sound like it applies here, because she's genuinely pleading with him to understand that about me. And that doesn't seem to make any sense. That's like a form of bullying, especially when I just keep showing up periodically anyway. Like, so it's like, what I'm obviously like right here. The character etched in the stone base is indecipherable. Oh. Sausages. I found a damaged Ojizu-san in the mountains. The character etched in the stone was indecipherable. What was that just now? So there's like a dead end with sausage, and you bring the sausage. That's the offering. Where the hell was that? Oh, that flag. Okay, that's probably it, right? Did I just see that flag in that sequence?
Damage from the typhoon. It's still here.
Is it that over there? So it seems like I need to go past where the cutscene just happened with the others, then loop back around to the other side of this damaged passageway. And they hit some over there.
This is in rough shape. I'm going to need to find a replacement fast.
Oh, that's interesting that she said that now. I haven't done any more damage to my weapon, so I was like, was she talking about the environment?
Shu used to hang out around here a long time ago.
Broken Japanese Geta statue. Sandal. Oh, those aren't sausages. I thought those were sausages. Beautifully decorated Japanese-style slippers. Whoever wore them did so for a long time, but is now cracked beyond repair. Oh no. They're being held together by the strap. I just saw the straps and thought there was just like some sausages. I'm like, alright. I mean, a lot of the offerings are food, I guess. I'm not going to question it too much. But I was wrong. I was wrong. That song's really fucking long. Actually, most of Bad Religion. I actually don't know if they're in duration long or if they just feel that way. But a lot of Bad Religion songs feel like they're so fucking long. It might be just kind of the sort of droning of the singer, like the style. But they tend to feel like they're really long songs. My ears were met with a soothing chime of bells upon offering the item. This should do. There we go. So that's 3 out of 5 right there. This isn't too hard. Space Wars. Not to brag, but we've taken down the enemy's mothership, the giant UFO, on many occasions. However, each time that happened, the Galactic Imperium would deploy more and more troops from their home planet. As we grew older, we were able to have a better understanding of heroes by watching television, and I think we came up with some elaborate backstories for the enemy leaders. By this time, it was a world that only Shu and I knew. I want to get... See, it gets me weirdly invested in getting the UFO ending. Because I'm like, oh, it's their thing. But then she also kills Shu. Well, the other her kills Shu. I think we can... It seems reasonable to currently interpret the other her as the villain so far. Because the other her kills off all of her friends, including Shu. Like, you could maybe be like, when we're getting rid of the other version of Rinko, you almost... I think they have her be first on purpose. You're kind of like, aha, revenge. That bitch pushed me down the stairs. And she's been awful every second of this entire story. So she does feel genuinely villainous in this game. But then you kill Sakuko, and it's like, or you abandon her in the dark. You just leave her screaming in the dark, and it's like, I thought we liked Sakuko. I know that the reinterpreted version of the journal is like crueler, but damn, I don't think she's ever done anything wrong. And then she tragically died at the beginning of the story, so that's a lot harder to put up with. You're like, what are we doing, man? And then Shu was like, your partner. Aren't you guys buds? I know that he clearly has this unrequited crush on you, and that isn't potentially going to end well on some level, but like, clearly we're not like trying to, hello? Like, why would you kill him?
It's locked. There never was a lock here, though.
The key should be somewhere in the school.
Oh my god, hop a fence. It's a chain link fence, the easiest to hop.
Can we take a break now?
How is this an acceptable barrier in any video game? It's a chain link fence. I hopped a chain link fence when I was like 5. I started early. You can literally just poke your feet in the fucking lattice and just climb it like a really shitty ladder and then hop over the top.
I can't. I need to take a break.
You must be exhausted too, huh? You can take a rest. I'll go see if I can find the key.
No problem. What? I want you by my side, Shu. I need you here. Please, stay with me. Please.
You don't really need me to.
You should rest up too. I'll go find the key. You really should. You were at the front leading us the whole time. Hinako just tagged along behind us, so she's just fine.
What do you mean she just tagged along?
Don't worry about it. You two stay here and rest. I'll be back.
God, I hate her. She's awful. And I can't even be like, oh, it's the drugs. Because we didn't take the drugs this run. And she still is exactly the same. None of her dialogue has changed, so it's definitely not that kind of playthrough. I was leaving it to open to the idea that maybe we were having cruel interpretations of everybody because of the drugs and something was going to happen when we don't take them, and it was kind of going to be an interesting unveiling, but nope. She's still like that. Interesting there too. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, to finish the thought, like obviously we learned that like that's the other Hinako that was wiping everybody out. So she seems pretty obviously villainous. I can't tell if she's us displaced in time, like if we experience one storyline then the other one back to back and then we attack ourselves in some kind of loop or something, or if it's genuinely like some kind of like split, or if there's anything like mythology wise that explains this better that I don't know, but we'll see. I got a few more playthroughs to figure it out, I guess. And yes, I was stalling because I needed to take a quick break, and I'm back now. Stalling to finish what I was talking about before I stopped recording and without starting like the next sequence or something.
I haven't been here since graduation.
This place is spooky, but we've mostly seen it before, so I'm not really that worried about anything it has going on. I do remember this being like the longest level in the entire game, I guess before the part where we play through our own house 17 times. That was pretty long, I guess. I guess I'll replace this breaking one. The vice principal is so paranoid about his keys that he always takes them with him whenever he leaves. So it's kind of ironic that he lost the keys to the stairwell. He's looking for them frantically, like a madman. He had the nerve to ask me to help him find them. But I'm the one who needs help with this pile of paperwork I have.
The box won't open. I need a key.
To all faculty on patrol duty, to prevent students from going to the second floor, please ensure the corridor is locked at the end of the day. On patrol this week, Vice Principal Matsuo. Patrol. Listing teachers as on patrol feels kind of wild, but I don't know if that's how they put it in American schools or anything. Students prank drawing. A drawing that was in the shoe cupboard. Could this flower be a hydrangea? Such an emphasis on flowers. Is that meant to indicate that he dropped it in the flower patch out back? I think that came up at some point, right? To all students, the game known as The Fox's Sacrifice is hereby banned. Partaking in this recent fad is forbidden. Any students caught playing will have their parents or guardians notified and be severely punished. Oop. Ah! That might have been in the original playthrough, I'm not sure. Oh. By this point, mentions of Fox stuff wasn't that unusual yet, anymore. creepy little child mannequin. It is child-sized, huh? Is this the... Oh yeah, this is the back garden, huh? I guess I could poke around. I felt like I had to, like, unlock this area. I don't know. Probably just was thoroughly exploring other places for a while or something. I definitely feel like I'm here early. I think this place gets worse, right? I went upstairs and it got worse or something. Creepy. It's like maybe I had to come back through here again after it got worse. They got the names of the rabbits on here. I always felt like I should be able to go in there for some reason, even though it's clearly a little dead end. Look at that. That thing's huge. That flower is huge. And I believe that's the flower that's always used to represent death, basically. If you're feeling spicy, you'll draw it coming out of a character's eye. That's fairly common. I think I've had multiple characters from role-playing games get drawn with it, with something like that coming out of their eye. Something popularized the idea of flower coming out of eye. A sledgehammer. Do I want that? I just have 2 steel pipes, so sure, why not just bring it for the variety? Out here in particular, the fights are pretty avoidable. I hear a radio. Up in that room, I assume? I think this is the flower that is supposed to be where he dropped this thing. Yeah, that's like the one flower patch practically. And obviously there's no big guy, so I'm pretty sure this place gets worse. I don't remember if I came out here when it was this calm at any point. I might have only come out here after it got bad, which I think happens when you visit the second floor. Just kind of trusting they're not going to come after me right now. Ooh. Is that going to be another one? Diary of Revenge. I found mention of a transition from the water dragon faith to the divine tree faith in historical records dating from around the middle of the Kamakura period. There, it is written that a peculiar monk donning multiple masks and measuring over 10 shaku, approximately 3 meters, in height, visited Ebisugaoka. Frankly ridiculous overstatement. That monk brought people to a great cedar tree, later to be idolized in the divine tree faith, and told them the following. That's interesting because we just noticed that there was a tree that disappears between the different playthroughs. I don't have to be a cedar tree, though. I thought cedars are kind of tall and trunk-based, and less of a big spiderweb-looking, like a tangled-looking thing. He told them the following. You who fear the water dragon's wrath, quake no more, for the beast grows weak and prepares for slumber. It is none other than this great tree that has sapped the evil from it. Devote yourself to the great tree, and it shall keep that beast subdued until the end of time. Upon hearing the monk's words, the people of Ebisugaoka abandoned the water dragon faith and converted to the divine tree faith. However, in time, the divine tree faith would also begin to change. Being a settlement hidden away from society, the residents had no way of trading with the outside world, and so they were forced to treat their tools with extra care. It was from this unique culture that the Tsuko-ogami faith was born. Local historic records state that old tools would be brought to the hollows of the divine tree and offered to the gods, once again further warping the religion. So they couldn't do anything outside world, so they had to preserve their tools on a generational scale. Between 3-meter tall monks, giant sacred cedars, And dragons? Do humans simply sense divine presence in anything larger than themselves? How utterly ridiculous. That's rude. Oh, it's an Omamori. Rabbit. Press heavy attack immediately after performing a perfect dodge to deal a powerful counter. This counter greatly consumes stamina. Interesting.
I could use this.
I'm curious how strong that is. It just seems like a really cool move to have access to. It's kind of wild to get a whole move from an Omamori. Letters from Sakuko to Hinako. Hinako, has anyone tried to rope you into playing the Fox's Sacrifice game before? You basically just write a bunch of names on the blackboard, and the fox will tell everyone's future. One of these people will also get granted good luck. But this isn't just some childish game. There are spiritual powers at work here. Mark my words. And the fox isn't telling people their futures. It's deciding them for itself. You have to promise me you won't join, even as a joke. Even if you don't believe yourself, please. Oh. Oh. Spooky. Huh. They probably want me to read the names that they wrote. Hinako, Kimie, Kanta, Sachi, Sakuko, Rinko, Shu, Kotayuki. She wrote herself and the other three people that we know in this list. Which, oh, all the figures are getting closer each time. Oh my god. Origami of Fox Prayers. To the revered Fox, my ancestor, I thank you for your divine revelation. Your will shall be done. Your will shall be done? What did they do? What? You're spooky. Who's that? Oh. Hinako disappeared. Ah. We talked about how when people disappear, they're explained as being married to the Fox Prince. And Hinako is married to the Fox Prince in the other half of the story. So it suggests that she disappeared? Like she actually did get stolen away, maybe? Kimie, cancer. Kanta, heart disease. Sachi, cancer. Sakuko, heart attack. Rinko, burned to death. Shu, suffocation. Kotayuki, wishes will come true. Everyone's name's crossed up but Kotayuki's. Doesn't Shu hang from the neck and Rinko, yeah, it gets burned to death in our thing we do. Sakuko, heart attack is interesting. Maybe that's what happens from the grief. Maybe it's an interpretation of how she just suddenly dies in front of us. If you get rid of the implications of if you ignore the supernatural part of it. Oh, this is supernatural in a different way. They keep repeatedly reminding us about marriage, the fox sacrifice, and the idea of being disappeared. They make you get so close to these characters. It's going again? It's just constantly in that state? Because I don't think I can interact with it. Previously, it sounded like that was attracting me towards a thing you could encounter. A scene you could witness, I mean. Nope. Second floor key. Uh-oh. That's the big guy? Oh, it is. They're all waking up. Here they come. No, thank you. Bye-bye. Oop, not far enough. Things definitely got worse. That big guy was definitely not here a minute ago, though. Ow. Ah! Alright, you can't avoid waking up one of them, I guess. Womp womp. Almost got away scot-free, too. Okay. They're probably waking up. The fucking locker room. Could just leave it for later. Aoi Takeshi. I think some of these locker room puzzles were mandatory and some of them were optional last time. It might be that only the mandatory one is still here. Which makes sense because if the optional ones gave me prizes like Omomoris, then I would still have them, so there's no reason to have me do them again. Oh, this other room. Hi.
The locker room. Takes me back to my track and field days.
God! You punk. Ow. I forgot to press the thing. Womp womp. Unfortunate, but yeah, I have to have the reaction time to think to press the correct button. Asakuri something? That name should not go away that quickly. Sugeyoshi. Shushia. Ah, they go away so fast. I don't remember what the rule is or the logic for how you get the answers. But yeah, it looks like there's like 4 of them actually. That's gonna take some work. And they probably made the puzzle harder now, actually. You probably can't just refer to the same clue as last time and how it worked before. I think it was made from their names? Oh, damn, bro. Need lessons? Surprisingly little like a lot of this text looks visible, but very rarely can you actually check to see what it says. Asakura Aomi, freshman, class 1, 479 points. Am I supposed to wonder?
Is this some sort of offering?
Am I supposed to wonder if their score is their locker combination, even though they presumably would have had their locker combination first? My own classroom, and I'm locked in.
What's that?
Unopened envelope. Hinako isn't coming. I'm sorry for lying to you, but I thought that I needed to get you to alone to find out how you truly feel. Look into your heart and try opening this box with your true feelings. Do you remember that day when just the two of us went to that cafe? We talked about how it felt like we were delinquents since we were supposed to be going to school that day. But you know what? I didn't care what other people thought about us because because as long as I could spend time with you, that was all I needed. We both ordered the same cake that day. I can still remember how my heart almost burst out of my chest the moment the same words flowed from those lips. The sweet and tart fruit of that cake, the taste still lingers in my mouth like it was yesterday. Do you still remember the taste too? She just comes across as so desperate and, like, unnerving. So cake is the first clue. Anything else before I try to open that? Shu sat here. Still the best partner, right? Rinko's just so off-putting in her desperation and her fixation. I sat here. Behind me was Rinko. She used to give me the right answers. Surprised she let you cheat off of her. You don't press that, you press Y. It's Tomago? Orange? Desserts, maybe? Unless they're literally gonna give me a cake. Because that's apple pie. This is, those red bean paste pancakes. I like those. Give them to me. You only slide these in one direction. Another pie. It might just be get two pies. That's not really a cake. But it's about the fact that they got the same flavor. So hide this one.
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, that's not it.
Okay, so it is still wrong. It was interesting to me that she said something else this time.
That wasn't right.
Eggplant. Strawberry. They both got the same flavor, and that's a pie. I think maybe you need to get the same flavor twice. Orange. What's that? Like a daikon or something, I think? Because that's an eggplant down there. Any other strawberries? No. Orange and clover. There's no orange on this side. There's no clover on this side. I think that's tomato. That's a cherry. I think there's no cherry on this side. So let's hide the cherry. I wonder if they just have to have the same flavors on both sides. It's like there's a pie on both sides, there's a tomato on both sides, there's an eggplant on both sides. There's no strawberry on this other side. There is tamago on both sides, or whatever sushi that is. Grapes. Pineapple. Okay, let's try the other side. Carrots? No. Pumpkin. No. Apple. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. No. Daikon on both sides, tomato on both sides, pie on both sides, egg on both sides, eggplant on both sides. Okay, so that's not how you interpret the clue either. The sweet and tart fruit on the cake. So not tamago. This is a pie. It might be that you have to have two of it still. I don't think this thing's sweet and tart. Keep mixing. The buttons are weird. It's A to confirm, X to rotate, Y to slide things back and forth. So I keep guessing, getting the controls wrong every time. Maybe hide the eggplant? Eggplant isn't sweet. Kinda like savory, I think. Do something wrong? No. Cherries are sweet. So just every sweet fruit, I guess. Is tomato sweet? Sweet and tart. I feel like I wouldn't call that. Especially if we're saying tart, I wouldn't include tomatoes. People describe tomatoes as sweet and like carrots as sweet sometimes. And I'm like, weird. I think I'd primarily associate carrot with the flavor of like almost being watery. There you go. It's just, yeah, all the sweet and tart fruits. An open envelope. So you did remember. Well, that makes me feel very special. By the way, are you over Hinako now? I apologize if I sound blunt, but I want to make it clear. That girl is dead. I know you're going through a rough time right now. And you must be in so much pain. But you know, I can be there for you. Would you rather go through it yourself still? I can picture us slowly unfolding the pages of our hearts, talking about all the small, mundane details of our day-to-day lives. By filling up one journal after another with our thoughts, I know we can make a fresh start, a blank page upon which we can write a new story of our lives. Surely you can see it too. It's like journals, I think. Is this a book on top of the book? See, like, the way she is, like, if it is a bullying thing, does it take the form of such elaborate roleplay? Like, talking about, like, being there to help you mourn the person you're bullying about being dead, but, like, you're directing a completely different person than the person that's supposedly getting bullied. It's like, he's not the one getting bullied. Let's get rid of the letters. I think the letters might not count. It might only be books. There we go. I'm glad to hear that you're trying to stay positive. And remember, I'll always be here if you need anything. You know, you're not the only one who's sad because Hinako's no longer with us. If the two of us could huddle together, we could soothe this pain that bites like the cold of winter. And then, surely spring will arrive, welcoming us with sakura in full bloom to celebrate our union. Can you picture the beautifully blooming sakura awaiting us? This one does not seem to have gotten harder. Although this one's a bit iffy in that you need to correctly identify sakura. Just gonna open all of them first and try to process elimination the ones that are not right. That's a big leafy thingy. That's a tree. That's leafy. That's like a, yeah, dandelions or whatever? No, but daisies. Daisies? Something. I'm just not necessarily good at identifying what Sakura looks like. I might need to Google it. I can just do that right now on my phone. Let's see. Sakura? No, not the character. Okay, so Cherry Blossom specifically has 5. Yeah, it has 5 petals. This is like a clover maybe or something. This was like this. Ah. That one felt iffy enough. Oops. Yeah, that's a 5 petal flower. That could be a tree full of cherry blossoms coming out of it. That could be a Sakura fan. I'm unclear if more than one type of symbol counts in this one's case.
That wasn't right.
Are the fans wrong? No. Get rid of the charms next. No. Get rid of this potted plant. Okay. Dear Shu, I like you. I love you. I always have and I always will. I'll be waiting to hear what you think about me. Second floor classroom generic key. So it works on like everything, presumably. I wonder if this is made more entertaining or less or more annoying. With me not remembering what I did last time and just kind of forgetting the structure of the playthrough. I had to genuinely resolve the levels a bit.
I wondered where you had gone.
Junko, where?
Did you have fun playing with your friends? You need to start getting ready. It's time to say your goodbyes. You're going to kill them with your own hands. You can do it. Isn't that why you're here?
What are you?
Uh-huh. That's interesting. So first, she shows up at the beginning of the game, and she seems to not actually be there because she specifically seems to be a character that's absent from us. That's unnerving. But yeah, it seems like specifically Junko is missing, her gone, spirited away by the Fox Prince, married, and so on. Those seem to be conflated concepts. And then she's gone. And she doesn't show up again in the story until now, after a huge absence. Oh, I guess she helps us with the ladder once? But like, she's noticeably absent the whole time. To the point where you just figure she's just not really around in the first place. That'll give you long enough to wonder what's even supposed to be happening. But... how do I phrase this? So we go on this whole adventure with our friends, and this is noteworthy as being the part of the game where they just kind of disappear, which I'm iffy on because I want to spend more time with them. I even want to spend more time with Rinko, who sucks, but like it's entertaining having her be just awful in cutscenes all the time. But like it's like this is the moment where we lose the game we thought we were playing, and it never returns because we never see. I think we never see Shu and Rinko again. I don't remember if they're there when we get back to the room. But we very quickly get separated and never really get back to it again. And we spend the rest of the game in a pretty long combat gauntlet that is like conspicuously lacking the characters that it seemed like we were spending the whole game with. I definitely thought the game was going to be about that, and then they kind of just go away, actually. I don't have pills, right? To replace? That's like the lowest value item. Oh, let's get rid of RA. A stack of bandages is better than a stack of that stuff. Old annex main gate key. I feel like I'm getting keys really rapidly here. Note to teacher, Ayomi from the track and field club said she found a key with key box written on it during practice. If she still hasn't got it back to you, then she probably left it in her locker when she went to change. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if she forgot. She looked exhausted after practice. So Ayomi has a key. There's a lot of keys in play for this storyline. I don't remember it being that involved. Hello. Gee, I think this guy might attack me. It's a little funny that she doesn't actually use a key in her animation whatsoever. She just swings it open and it's like, you used a key! And I'm like, did I? Origami of grievances. TT is the most disgusting person I've ever met. I wish someone would destroy her locker. If anyone wants to make that my wish come true, her locker combination is 377. TT. It seems that making secret codes with numbers and symbols is the craze these days. Wasn't it like their names resemble numbers or something was part of it? Can't remember if that number worked or not, or if it was like a red herring. Excuse me. Thank you, bye. Nice meeting you. We'll be fine.